pass. And Senator Moody.
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that took the time to be here today. Such an important hearing. I think it's important after we've heard some of the questions and responses to point out that immediately upon taking office, I think out of our thousands of colleges and universities, Trump administration immediately sent out letters to some of the more egregious violators of civil rights, especially our Jewish students, is on campuses, and said the days of a tepid response or toothless resolution agreements are over, and we will aggressively go after those that are violating the rights of our Jewish students. Those letters have gone out. Universities have now been put on notice. I don't think there's any question that there has been a change in the tenor on how we will protect the rights of Jewish students on our campus, and I just want to make sure that that is clear because some of the questioning has suggested otherwise. I think it's also important to remember that we're here on a hearing today, and I want to make sure I'm going to get the title right, so I'm going to specifically read the topic of this hearing, Anti-Semitic Disruptions on Campus. And we're talking about attacks on campaign flyers of President Trump and defending coordinators of chaos on campus. I mean, I think it's important when we're addressing an issue that people understand who is actually targeting the issue that we're talking about and not talking about something else to distract from the point that our Jewish students have had to transfer, have had to skip graduations, have missed major opportunities in life, have been followed to class, have been threatened, have been kept from campus buildings. I mean, that is why we're here today. In Florida, we're not immune. We saw a rapid escalation in anti-Semitism and criminal acts within our own state, and that was minor compared to the rest of the nation after October 7th, what we saw in terms of criminal acts. So I think it's important to remember, I mean, it's the same thing happened when we were talking about men participating in women's sports and taking those opportunities and the danger to women. Who was talking about protecting women? Who was not distracting from that? Who stood up for that? And I think we need to remember that in this hearing today. I don't think it's wrong to question foreign funding. I mean, candidates for federal office can't take foreign donations. I don't think it's wrong to question foreign funding in universities and colleges and whether foreign nations are trying to persuade or influence or brainwash our children. I mean, do you think that they want us to be more pro-American, more democracy, pro-freedom, pro-capitalism? Is that why they're giving hundreds of millions of dollars to our universities? I mean, I'm sure there are instances of good faith there, but we have to pay attention to that. I filed a bill yesterday to deny now student visas to Chinese students because China has just passed a law that now requires every national to gather intelligence, including Chinese students here studying, gather intelligence and report back. How do we not pass a law that prevents student visas in that respect? I mean, in the past few years, we've had an explosion of Chinese students that were caught gathering evidence or gathering information on military bases, on college campuses. How do we as lawmakers, policymakers not do that? And so I've watched what's happened over in our campuses over the last few years and sat in horror. And there are tools right now in terms of revoking funding or denying funding if campuses are allowing the violation of civil rights. I filed a bill today that said we should go one step further because clearly what we have on the books isn't working. I believe that if money has been given or designated for universities and they cannot protect their Jewish students, there are violations of civil rights, any money that has been dedicated to them should be clawed back. Any taxpayer money that has been dedicated to them should be clawed back from the federal government. And Ms. Gamble, I would like to know what you think. Number one, do you think additional tools are necessary? And number two, do you think that that is a good policy?
I certainly think that additional tools are necessary, as I've mentioned several times. I do think that looking at every aspect of what our taxpayer dollars are being used for and ensuring that those dollars are being used in compliance with the law is crucial. There's simply no question that the teeth that have been lacking in resolutions under Title VI need to be returned to those resolutions. I want to say this. I've dealt extensively with resolution agreements under Title VI. There is a process that allows universities to seek voluntary resolution. It is typically through that process that resolutions come about. That is when the university approaches OCR and says, we would like to voluntarily resolve this. Unfortunately, what we see there is talk about compliance concerns. We do not see findings of violation. I think it is critical that when OCR investigates, or whomever it is, because I have every faith that someone will be investigating and enforcing Title VI, whether it is OCR or another department in the government, when they do that, I believe it is crucial that we move beyond just talking about compliance concerns and actually issue findings of violation, and where those findings are found, federal funds need to be removed.
Thank you, Ms. Gamelin. We have these new timers that nobody can see where the time is, so I apologize if we went over.
No, believe
Chairman.
me, this is our first meeting in this new room.